Well, g'day and welcome to, hang on, that's spinning around the other way, garage drive time. It's driveway time, I guess we want to call it. And sitting here in my wife's beautiful Lincoln Continental. It's a 64, beautiful white with red trim. Anyway, what we want to chat about today in driveway time is your mental approach to this whole thing. And it's real interesting how with the business owners that I've been chatting with lately, if I sit down and start looking at what is making the difference between those who are doing well through this thing and those who are struggling through this thing, it really comes down to four aspects of your mental approach to this. So when we define those who are doing well through this thing and those who are struggling through this thing, you're doing well through this thing if you've kept all your stuff. You're doing well through this thing if you've paid all your bills and are keeping going. You're doing well through this thing if you're keeping the business running and you're doing that stuff. You don't have to be excelling. You don't have to be doing record numbers. Just keeping your head above water is doing well right now. Now, of course, a lot of our clients are doing very well. They're getting ahead. They're doing new things. And a lot of that is because, when you first go into massive shifts of change, the first thing that comes up is really a feeling of shock and then denial. And from shock and denial, you can choose to go into a downward spiral. Or, thanks for typing in where you're at. Thanks, Jackie, for reminding me of that. Everybody, please remember to type in where you're at. Thank you for doing that. I love to find out where we're reaching with drive time or driveway time as it is here in quarantine, which, by the way, some good news. It will be back to drive time coming soon because we're in phase 1 of reopening here in Nevada come tomorrow, or midnight tonight, I guess, is phase 1 of reopening starts. So let's get back to the mental attitude thing. How you mentally process this whole thing determines where you end up with this thing. Too many people right now, and I want you to think about what is your mental attitude to this thing? What is your attitude to this whole crisis, the economic crisis, the health crisis, the whole thing? What is your mental attitude to this? Because it really comes down to it. Maybe type it in. What is the way you're thinking about this? Because how you're thinking about this determines the ultimate reality. So I want to cover off 4 aspects of your mental approach to this thing. Number 1, I want you to think about what it is that you are talking about most often. What are you having conversations about? What are you reading? What are you posting on? All that sort of stuff. Are you the person that is snoozing all of your friends on Facebook who are doing crazy stuff? Are you I find myself putting people on 30-day snoozes who are just continuously posting stuff about it's a conspiracy theory and it's Bill Gates and it's this and it's that. It's like, oh my goodness, I can't deal with that and be focused on my business. So the first thing to your mental attitude is really think about what it is that you are day-to-day focusing in on. What are you having conversations about? Where are you going with it? All that sort of stuff. The second thing to do with your mental attitude is what is it that you are showing your team? How are you leading your team? What are the conversations you're starting? What are you focused on? What are the goals that you're focused on? Where are you, because when you go through that whole shock and then denial, if you go down into that spiral where you end up in depression because you get angry and frustrated, if you get down into that depression part of it, it takes a while to come back out and hit acceptance and then get back into problem solving. What we need to do with our team is leap them from that shock and denial straight to problem solving. And to do that, we got to do that for ourselves. That's why coaching is so important, because what we do as coaches is leap you to problem solving. I know with all of our clients, day 1, what we started doing with them is do your finances. I want to see your finances. I want to know what your finances are, because the moment we can see your finances, we know exactly what we've got to solve. And there's too many people out there thinking, oh, look, I'm going under. And they've not done their finances and they don't realize the exact thing they need to solve. So find out exactly what it is you need to solve and away you go, sort of thing. And that's a big part of it. The third thing that I want you to think about your mental attitude to this thing is what are you doing to keep yourself physically, because your mental attitude is very much a reflection of, your gut health is part of it. Happiness, all of the chemicals that come from your gut determine happiness. Your mental health, the oxygenation, the level of, if you're not physically doing something, if you're just sitting on your butt and you're Netflix, it's not Netflix and chill, it's Netflix and get depressed. You've got to keep active. You've got to do something so that your brain, your body, your function actually keeps that oxygen level up. When the oxygen level's up, the brain can function at high capacity, and therefore we can be in that state of positivity, all that sort of stuff. And the fourth thing is, what rituals have you built so that you do go positive every day? What are the rituals that you need to build so that you stay positive, you get positive, and you stay in that place? If you don't have something that is a ritual to keep you positive, whether it's learning, whether it's reading, whether it's specific music, whether it's an exercise, or whether it's doing yoga, or whether it's whatever it is that you need to do to get your brain into that positive function every day, whether it's morning or night that you do it, whatever time of day it is, whether it's a certain type of thing that, hey, I notice X, Y, Z is happening, whether you do it in the morning and at lunch, either way, how you mentally approach this thing. Because I want to remind you of one very simple thing I've been teaching through this whole thing. This is the biggest opportunity your business has seen in years. Since 2008 to 2012, we've been in boom economy. The economy has shifted, and it's up to you right now to shift your mindset into this is the biggest opportunity. This is not a crisis. This is a massive opportunity. Think about all the businesses that were started back from 2008 to 2011. WhatsApp. We look at that. There's multi-billion-dollar sale. Pinterest, you got all of these companies that started during this whole process. Uber, Airbnb. Last crisis led to massive wealth shifts. You're going to take advantage of it this time around. Keep your head on straight and everything else will work out fine. Have a great weekend, everybody. Look forward to chatting to you again soon. Bye for now.